Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Arjun. That was a great talk from Taco. And we'll just keep it rolling. Right now from Polygon, we have Victor, and he'll be talking to us about aggregating Web3. So round of applause, please.
Thank you. GM everyone. Before I start, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Victor, like I said, product marketer at Polygon. Been there since January. It's been quite a ride. And I would like to start with a 2024 recap because many people are like, what the heck is Polygon these days? So first, I would like to share a few stats on POS. Nobody knows what POS is. If I say Polygon, that's what you usually assume it is. We had a very nice user growth. And one of the reasons, because I put this slide together, was because people kept asking, but is it still Polygon a thing? It is not a thing. We still have 84 market share. We are #1 in gaming, stablecoin, and #3 in real-world assets, so that's not bad at all. And I'd like to start with a real-world example, because quite often we keep talking about the different use cases in blockchain. How can we make things work, what people are using? And I really like this one. This is CamiPay. It's a company that is based out of South America. What they do, these guys are doing is very interesting. They make the transactions between Brazil and Argentina way easier. You may have some Argentinian pesos, and then you want to pay in reals in Brazil, but you don't want to make the conversion. You want to optimize that. In order for that to work, you will have USD on the front end, and then USDT on the back end. And this CamiPay will do everything for you back in the back end. They made 9 million transactions only in January, which I think it's a very good number. Almost 9% of the transactions in the overall Polygon network. They have integrated with all the major players, and they are supporting all these transfers in real time. So the finality is something that people care, and the merchants in shops, they really care. They have about 600 shops and about 4,500 customers, so that's really, really cool. And they really optimize the exchange rates and the fees. And I also want to iterate that, don't take my word, other people are also talking about that. Messari released this report, and I swear by God, we didn't pay that. Dune also posted some stats on how are we doing. How are we increasing the market cap? How are we getting more revenue from the transaction fees? How many new addresses we're getting over the year? And if you look at the whole report, you'll discover that stablecoin is really a thing together with real-world assets. So we really see a new trend in the world of payments, and that is trend I hope it will continue over 2025. So what have we been doing over 2024? We've been focusing on the foundation because we cannot really start a house from the top. And how does this translate into technology? Well, we've been working very heavily on this concept called pessimistic proof. It will enhance security. For those of you that are not familiar with what the heck is a pessimistic proof, it's a type of proof, and I really like the name because that means that we assume that everybody's a liar. That's the opposite to optimistic proofs. And therefore, this will enable the interoperability between different chains, including no CDK, no EVM chains, and all of this is powered by Plunky 3. So in the future, we will be able to connect other ecosystems. We already published some information with Cosmos, hopefully in the near term with ecosystems like Polkadot as well, that we can interconnect with them. This is how it works. It's very easy, right? All the chains are providing the different inputs. Then this AggLayer will do the math, and we will do the settlement using Plunky 3 as the backend for the prover we're using to secure all of it and use Ethereum as the settlement layer with this cumulative state. So if you want to know more about pessimistic proofs, if you want to do the workshop, you want to get your hands dirty, you want to see how this is working, our developer guy, which is Brian Seong, he put together a wonderful tutorial. If you scan the QR code, you will be able to see this. If you want to get the slides, feel free to contact me. And therefore, you can execute all the different functionalities that the AggLayer is providing at low level, including something that is called bridge and call. That is the ability to execute a transfer from chain A to chain B and then execute an action right afterwards. I also wanted to take some time to evaluate a few tweets from Vitalik. And I really like the message that he's putting out together. Guys, you need to get along. There are way too many L2s. The main challenges of having all these many L2s is first, how can we scale? And then how do we communicate all these L2s? Because I'm sure that this week another 2 or 3 L2s have popped up during this week. So he also evaluated, can we really go back to 2016 and try to explore the sharding area? He thinks this is a mistake, and that's why we've been very focused on building this AggLayer, which is this interoperability protocol for connecting all kind of L2s. And who else is building? One of the things I appreciate is the fact that Polygon is not alone. And actually, we have some competitors and some frenemies. When we look what Arbitrum is doing, CK Sync, Optimism, Chainlink, Axelar, all these guys are trying to build a tool that allows intercommunication not only between L2s, but also L1s, and potentially L3s in the case of OBStack. So this translates into all of us are contributing to a pretty good, and therefore we are trying to explore what is the best solution to intercommunicate all blockchains. Now, I would like to discuss a little bit what's next, what is coming. First, I'd like to introduce what is coming for POS. We are introducing new functionalities, and we are improving things that are basic for us. So in POS, we have 2 layers that are very important. One is the sequencing, and the other one is the execution. The execution is called BOR. For both the execution and the sequencing, we are releasing new versions during this year, so we are already making some progress. We are also working towards connecting POS to AggLayer over this year, which for us is actually very important, since you will be able to pull liquidity from it. And not only that, but we are also improving the settlement time on POS. We took a look on the Ethereum client distribution. There are many Ethereum clients, right? Right now, our main client is Polygon, but when we look at the overall market share, we see that Polygon, it's only 8%, while Geth, it's becoming bigger and bigger. Depending when you check it on this diagram, this can vary from 48 to 50 something, but Geth is certainly very popular. That's why we decided to take CDK multi-stack. As I said, right now we are supporting Polygon as a client, and we're working towards supporting Geth as a next client, and then carry on and supporting multiple clients in the next years. As per provers, right now we support the Zero and Hermes provers. If you are in the CK world, you will be familiar with these two. And we realize that other people are also using multiple provers, including SP1 from Saxin. So we are also working to support all these external provers in order to make the system more compatible. While having CDK more compatible, that leads us to having AggLayer check agnostic. As I mentioned, right now, AggLayer supports most of all the CDK chains. We are also working via pessimistic proofs on supporting non-CDK chains, as well as EVM and non-EVM chains. So at some point, AggLayer will be able to connect to external ecosystems, and that is a huge add value for that. Then we are working on proof aggregation. If we think backwards, what pessimistic proofs or full execution proofs are doing, they just take the whole state of the chain, will execute a proof that will validate that, hey, this is working, this is valuable, we can go forward. What we are aiming to do is get the state of all the different blockchains connected to AggLayer, make a massive aggregation proof, and therefore lower the cost of executing all the settlement. This translates into the settlement proofs. So if we aggregate all these proofs and we have this proof aggregation and we apply the settlement, we will be able to execute a proof over this settlement, and therefore we will achieve bigger efficiency, and therefore, based on that, we will build fast interoperability. Right now, the AggLayer has a settlement time around 45 minutes. We want to improve this speed. We want to make this way faster, and that's one of our priorities for us. If we would like to summarize kind of what I just described until now, that would be the slide that summarizes all of it. We already have the unified bridge that was released a year ago. This allows the transfer for fungible tokens. That eliminates the need to wrap and unwrap tokens all the time. If I want to transfer Victor meme coin from POS somewhere else, OKX, let's say, I don't need to have Victor meme coin and then Victor meme coin.d or whatever. I will have the same Victor meme coin in Polygon POS as well as in OKX. That simplifies everything. I will not end up with thousands of different tokens in my wallet. and that improves the user experience. A year later is when we have introduced these pessimistic proofs that I've been discussing during the presentation. That really improves the security. And as I mentioned before, this works under the assumption that everybody wants to attack your chain and want to rack your chain, and it will be prevent to withdraw more funds than the ones that you actually put into the bridge. The next one is what I just described, this multi-stack support. We want to be completely stack agnostic. We want to connect all existing EVM stacks as well as non-EVM integrations via pessimistic proofs or via native CK proofs. And the next thing that is coming is the faster interoperability. So if we look at the diagram that is close by, we'll see how all these things are working. All the different chains will be able to execute either full execution proofs or pessimistic proofs. We will be able to aggregate all these proofs all together and settle them into the unified bridge contract that is actually living in Ethereum. Then I'd like to take a little time to describe how this AggLayer ecosystem is working. We have a bunch of different chains that are connected. We call them, of course, Agg chains. These chains varies a lot from Polygon CKVM, Sentiment, OKX. We also have a number of core contributors. These contributors, sometimes they are completely unrelated to the Polygon ecosystem. For instance, the guys from Movement, they are making a huge effort integrating the Cosmos ecosystem into the AggLayer, so Cosmos chains will be able to access to Ethereum liquidity via AggLayer. And we also have all these Rust providers that allow people to spin their own app chains by using CDK. That was my presentation for today. If you want to connect with me, that's my Telegram. You can also reach me by email or by Twitter. Thank you very much, folks. That's it.